So, hello students, I guess you are fit and fine at your place. So, let's start today's class. Okay, students? So, students, I have something for you. See, you have to identify the name of the image in front of you. So, what is this image, students? Yes? You can write it down your answer in the comment box. What do you find it out in front of your screen? Yes, very good. So, this is basically an aquarium or a fish tank, right? Fish tank. So students, let's see. Now you have to tell me what is the geometrical shape. Do you find this geometrical shape which is I pasted something for you in front of you on the right hand side? Yes. What is that? Yes, it in the form of a cuboid, right? Very good students. Now let's see. Do you find this fish tank is in the form of a 3D or 2D? Yes, very good students. So this is a three-dimensional shape, right? So let's see how. So do you find it out 3 dimensions in this given figure? Yes. So please tell me which is your length, breadth and height. Yes, we have 3 things, 3 measurements do we have in front of us. That is 3.81 act as the length, right, and breadth which is 2.5 meter and height 1.6 meter, right? So students, these are the 3 measurements of a cuboid and we can say that this is a 3D, right? So let's see what we have a question, students. Now students, the dimensions of a fish tank, you can see we have come to know that this is length, breadth and height, right? Now students, the question arises that how many liters of water it can hold. So if you want to fill the water in this fish tank, so how many liters of water you will require to fill into it? So students, do you know how we can calculate how many liters of water we require to fill into the tank? No? It's okay students, let me tell you how you will calculate it. So basically we can calculate with the help of a formula which is related with the volume of cuboid. Okay, so we are going to discuss about today the volume of cuboid, its concept and application. Okay students, so let's see. So first we have a volume of cuboid. So what do you mean by volume of cuboid? Let's see students. Volume of cuboid is given by the product of its dimensions like length, width and height. So then you can find it out its volume. Okay, how much water we required, we just multiply all the measurements which we have in the dimensions form. Okay, so units of volume of cuboid is in the form of cubic units. So students, suppose if we have in meters unit, so we get the volume in the cubic meter, meter cube. If we have in centimeter units for the length, breadth and height, then we get the volume in centimeter cube, right students? So that way we can calculate the volume of cuboid. So students, we can say that the volume of cuboid is equal to the product of area of base into height. You can come to know that the cuboid is formed of 6 rectangular faces, right? So we have a base, right, which is the form of a rectangle. So here we have a length and here we have a breadth. So firstly we will calculate the area of this length into breadth, okay, and we will take with the help of a area of a base and height, multiply, you have to do it. So then you will get it the volume of cuboid. So see, what is the volume of cuboid? The base of a cuboid is in the form of a rectangle, right? As we can see, this is a rectangle. So the area that is base of a cuboid equal to the product of length into breadth. So length into breadth, you get length into breadth. So this is an area of a base. So students, now we have a volume of cuboid, that is length into breadth into height. So then you will calculate the answer in the form of a cubic units. Make sure you have remember all about your units. right? So here we have a length, height, length and breadth. So with the help of these three dimensions, we can calculate the volume of cuboid. Let's see students, will you able to solve the question that how many liters of water is required for that fish tank which is in the form of a cuboid, right? Yes, we will calculate it. So let's see how you can calculate. So do you see the dimensions of cuboid? Yes, yes, we have a length. Let me write it down. We have a length, we have a breadth and we have a height. Now students, how many liters of water is required? So we will calculate our volume. So what is the volume? Volume of cuboid, which is act as a fish tank, right? Now we will calculate length into breadth into height. So students, remember, we have to check out firstly all the units. So we can see here in the meter, here also in the form of meter, and here also the units are in meter. So all units are equal, right? So we will multiply all the things which we have, that is 3.8 into 2.5 into 1.6. So students, we will multiply. So students, do it and you will get the answer in meter cube. Remember students, we have a cubic units for the volume. Okay, so multiply and tell me the answer in the comment box. Write it down your answer in the comment box. So students, do you get the answer for this? How many volume of in the form of meter cube? That is 15.2 meter cube. So students, but now do we get the correct answer that how many liters of water we required for the fish tank? No, right? Because we know that we have to calculate your answer in the form of liters, not meter cube, right? So what we know that students, do you know what are the units for the how you can convert? We get volume as in the form of 15.2 meter cube. So students, do you know how we can convert meter cube to liter? So yes, very good students. So we know that 1 meter cube is equal to 1000 liter, right? So what we will do students, you just use the unitary method, right? We have a volume in the form of 15.2 meter cube, right? So what we will do, we will multiply this 15.2 with 1000. So now you get it your answer. What is the answer? And in the form of liter. So this is a liter, number of liter volume that is required, the water for the purpose of to fill the fish tank. So multiply and tell me how many liters of water is required to make it full completely. Yes, very good. So we get 15,200 liters of water is required for this fish tank. Okay students, so this way you can calculate the liters of water for the any fish tank. If you have any dimensions that is required for volume, so then you will easily able to calculate how many liters of water is required for these types of things. Okay, let's come forward students. There is filling the blanks in front of your screen, right? So you have to tell me the base, the area of a base of a cuboid is equal to dash. It is, you have to dash the two options is there, product and divide, or of its length and breadth. So what is the correct answer? Whenever we calculate the area of a cuboid for the base, so what we do, we multiply, we make a product of a length and breadth, or we make a divide for length and breadth. So what is your correct answer? Write it down your answer in the comment box. Yes, students, very good. So our correct answer is product. We can say in the length and breadth for a rectangle we have, right? For the rectangle, this is our length and this is our breadth. So we multiply, not divide, right? So we make a product of length into breadth. So product is the correct answer. Make sure students you get the correct answer, okay? Now students, read this question and tell me how you will calculate the unknown thing which we have going to find it out for this purpose. So students, you can see it in front of your screen. Do we have dimensions? Yes, we have dimensions, which is length, breadth and height, right, of a cuboid. So this is a shape of a cuboid. So we have length as a is in the form of a ratio, right students? So it is 7, 5 and 2. So yes, so this is in the form of ratio. We doesn't have particularly in the form of units, right? So it is in the form of a ratio, students. Next you can see the volume is equal to, the volume is given to you. So what is given to you? The volume, that is 35,840 centimeter cube, right? So that means we have a volume, but we don't have the value for length and breadth, but it in the form of a ratio. So students, you have to find it out its dimension. So how you will find it out its dimension? That you have to find it with the length, breadth and height. We didn't get the answer particularly. We want to find it out in the form of units, right, of a centimeter for a particular length, breadth and height. So students, how you will come forward and tell me how you can solve it out. If you know the steps, you can also write it down your answer in the comment box. There I will going to check out your answer, okay? Yes students, so I guess many of the students had done it, but let's go together to solve this question, okay? So students, you can see it here. We didn't have any particularly units for length and breadth, but we have in ratio form. So how you can take? You just take value of x, okay? We just first multiply the whole this ratio with x. So what will get? 7x, 5x and 2x, right? So we get length, breadth and height. So students, let's see. We get length as 7x, right? And we get breadth as 5x and height as 2x, right students? So students, how you will proceed for this question? So we know that volume of cuboid is length into breadth into height. So we have a volume, we have a values for this. You will multiply. We have a 7x, then we have a 5x, then we have a 2x. We multiply, and what is the volume? That is 35,840 centimeter cube. So firstly you solve these brackets. So when you multiply 7, 5 and 2, so you can get it 7 into 5 into 2, you will get it nearly 7, it is 70 x cube, because students we multiply x terms, so we get x cube. So you just write it down your steps. Now students, divide the x cube in the form of that we get value of x. So we will shift these terms to the next term. So we get, right, and calculate it students, and tell me the answer in the form of x cube, what you get it after you divide it. Pause the video and solve that question, how you will calculate it. Yes students, yes, we get 5112, right? So we get in the form of x cube. So students, now we have a value for the x cube. Now let me rub these things. So we get the value of x in the form of didn't get the proper value, we have to calculate is we get x cube value, right? So students, you will have to take the cube root on the both sides, because we have to calculate the value of x, not x cube. So what we take, we will take the cube root. So now here from cube root we have taken, so cube will going to be removed. So you have to tell me, when you cube that value, cube root of this value, what you get the value of x. So tell me the answer in, yes, what is the value of x? Write it down in the comment box. Yes, very good students, we get 8, right? So we get the x value as a 8. Okay students, now you will just multiply what you have a length and breadth and height. So we just multiply 7 into 8. Yes, what is the answer? 56 centimeter, right? And if we talk about for the breadth, so 5 into 8 we get 40 centimeter. Now if we talk about for the height, we have 2 into 8, so we get 16 centimeter. So students, that way you will easily able to calculate the values for these dimensions for this cuboid whose volume is given. So other way also the question will ask you in your school. Okay, yes students, now there is one more image in front of you. What you have to do, you have to analyze this image, why we are showing you this image, and you have to explain in your words. So you can also you write it down your answer in the comment box to know that what is happening in this image. Okay, yes students, yes, very good. So we can say that this is a rectangle, right? So whenever you make such a rectangles of bundles of rectangles, you will get a form of a cuboid, right? So this way also you will easily able to find it out, the cuboid. So let me take line, so that is easier for us. So we have a cuboid to be formed with these. So we get a cuboid. Okay students, so that way also you can get the cuboid. Now students, it's a true and false. The volume of cuboid, it is defined as the amount of space occupied by the walls of a cuboid in the 3-dimensional space. Is it a correct statement? Is it a true or false? Yes. So the volume of cuboid is defined as the amount of space occupied by the walls of cuboid. So let's make a cuboid in front of you. So students, here you can see we have made a cuboid, right? So do you say that the volume of cuboid is the amount of space that is required to be filled in the boundaries of this cuboid? Yes? Yes, very good students. So basically this is only a correct statement. So this is a true statement. Okay. Now students, come forward. You have to identify the geometrical shape in front of you. What is that geometrical shape? Yes. Do you see any cuboid or any other thing? Yes, we have a cuboid, right? So we have a cuboid in the form of two things, students. There are two objects in front. Yes, one is in the form of a cartoon and other is in the form of a box, a small box, right? Very good students. Any other thing you have noticed in this image? Yes, very good. So you have noticed about it. Its measurements of a cartoon is given in front of you, right? Length, breadth and height. Right students? So let's see, we have a question related to only the dimension of a sweet box. So basically students, this is a sweet box, a little one whose dimension is given to you. Okay, so students, let's see. For the sweet box, we have a dimensions like length, breadth and height is given in the form of multiplication. Okay, so we have a length as a 22 centimeter, we have a breadth as a 18, and we have a height in the form of 10 centimeter. Okay students, now let's see for the packed cartoon, which we can see it, whose length is given to you in the form of 1 meter. So students, do we need to change the units or we have to replace the same unit only? Yes students, that why we have to change its units, right? We have a length in the form of 1 meter, so we have to change the, we know that 1 meter is equal to how many centimeter? 100 centimeter, right students? So we will calculate with the help of its only that how many such box can be packed in the cartoon in that dimensions of a box, that is into you. So how many sweet box that be contained into this box, you have to find it out. So students, let's first calculate its volume. Okay, so we have the value of a cartoon 22 into 18 into 10. So this is for the sweet box, right? And for if we calculate the cartoon for the dimensions for the cartoon for the volume, so we will get the answer in the centimeter cube. For the cartoon purpose students, you have to multiply all the dimensions which we have for the specifically for the cartoon. Okay students, so for this we have a sweet box, and for the cartoon we have 100 centimeter multiply 8, what is that value? 100 multiply 88 into 63. Now students, you have to find how much boxes, sweet boxes can be included in this cartoon. So you have to find it out this volume. So we get the volume for the particularly for each of the two things which in the form of cuboid. So that way you can calculate the volume. Okay students. Now students, how do we calculate the number of sweets box that can be packed into this? So do we have to do something else or we just calculate its volume? Yes students, we basically have to divide the number of cartoons by the number of that boxes are there. So we have to calculate that. So we will divide all the terms which we have. So students, we have 22 into 18 into 10. So you just taken in the form of division. Now you will easily able to calculate the number of sweet box be into this cartoon, right? So now please cancel out all the terms which is required to cancel. Yes students, and tell me number of boxes. Write it down and answer in your comment box. Yes students, very good. So we get at last 140 boxes are there to be packed into this cartoon. Okay students. Now students, one more question arises. Find the volume of cuboid which is 4 meter long, 4 meter broad and 4 meter high. So you have to calculate its volume of cuboid. So do you get the answer? Calculate it and choose the correct option A, B, C, D. Yes students, you have to just multiply all the dimensions which you have. Yes, very good. So the correct answer is C. Very good. 64 centimeter cube, right? So please check out your answer students. Now let's recap what we have discussed today. We have discussed about today the volume of cuboid, which is given by the dimensions of length, breadth and height. So we know that what is the volume of cuboid? That is length into breadth into height, right? So when now next question in front of you, you have to calculate the volume of cuboid. So we know that volume of cuboid is length into breadth into height, right? So do we have length? Yes, we have a length. Do we have breadth? Yes, we have a breadth. In the form of which unit students? Yes, it is in the form of This is in the form of inch. Okay, so there is one, this is also a 1 unit which we calculate. So you just multiply 10 into 20 into 30. So tell me what is the correct answer. And it should be inch cube. Yes, we get 600,000. Okay, so these are the two questions, students. You have to read the statements carefully, then you have to solve it. Okay, so firstly you have to find out the missing dimensions in the both the cuboids, and the second you have to find out where the wall is given, whose length is given to you, and dimensions of the bricks. So you have to find it out the number of bricks to make that wall. Okay, so you have to do this question for the, and the last we have an activity. You have to take a measuring tape and the ruler. You have to check the length, breadth and height for your bed and for the cupboard, right? So now note it down the dimensions carefully and calculate its volume perfectly, and drive that the formula that we discussed, and cross check your answer, and we will discuss it next class. Do you get the same answer or not? Okay, so thank you, students. We will meet in the next video.